When I have a thought, I gotta let it out. It's a bright spot that I can't even doubt. My opinions, my point of view, even if things are a little chopped and screwed. So yeah, even if you disagree. So yeah, even if I'm not in your pedigree. So yeah, especially if you agree. So yeah, so yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you're listening to it. Welcome to the So Yeah podcast with your girl, Caroline M. Diamonds in the club. Just kidding, I'm at home. Hey, come on now, what up? All right, so I actually cannot believe that it's taking me 25 episodes to speak on this topic. And that topic is periods, the menstrual cycle. And I would suggest, I don't know how many men, straight men, are listening to this program, but I offer you men to listen to the struggles that women go through when they are bleeding out of their cuckoo-ana, okay? So I've always had like a monthly period. It's been very like, quote, regular in that way. So always got it, 5 days, pretty, standard textbook every 27 to 28 days, But I used to be on birth control. Well, this is so not good. This is definitely a Caroline college story. I was starting to take birth control in college because I thought that I was going to get laid there. I did not. And this was like taking the pill format. And I would like forget that I would take like 3 pills at a time. Like, girl, not good. So I got off that pretty quick because I was not responsible enough to take a pill by mouth every day. So I was off birth control for a while, and then when I went on tour, I was like, oh, let me get an IUD, because, again, I'm going to have sex. And you know what? I actually did! Boom, boom, bam! But anyway, so I'm on my IUD, and I had the Mirena, and the Mirena is the one where you do not get your periods. Leading into it, I was like, oh my God, I'm 22 years old, and like, let me just not have periods? That sounds amazing. Not understanding the implications of what that means to be on birth control. And for me, the Mirena, it was so hormone driven that it made me an absolute cuckoo banana psycho. If you could imagine me even crazier than I am today, think about it. Spooky, okay? Not good. So when I was on tour, I got injured, and as I was recovering from my injury and trying to get body work done, I went to this very woo-woo holistic chiropractor, and he touched my back, and he was like, oh my gosh, you are taking too many hormones. There's too much testosterone in your body. I was like, what? You got that just from touching my shoulder? And he was like, yes. Are you taking any hormones? And at the time, I didn't think in my head that birth control was hormones, but again, dumbass. And I was like, well, no, I'm on birth control. He was like, well, that's hormones. And so apparently it was rising my testosterone up so much that my body was fighting itself. So he's like, you have to get this taken out. So right now. Also, I don't know how I skipped over this, but getting an IUD inserted. Oh my God. Of course, I don't know what childbirth is like, but I would assume that is very similar to that experience. It was utterly painful, and again, going blindly and uninformed into this IUD insertion. I had this old Jewish man insert it, and he was like, yeah, and I drove myself there. What? And what they do at first is they take this long silver apparatus, and they measure the depth of your cervix. When I tell you, I felt like I was getting stabbed gutturally, again, from the inside out, just to measure the cervix. And what this IUD is it's a teeny tiny little thing. Teeny tiny, girl. And that getting inserted, that clamping to your cervix, oh my forking gourd. The most painful thing ever. Honestly, that was so bad. And then for the rest of that day, I drove myself home. I went to go work a shift, LOL. And I was keeled over in pain. Like, I couldn't even stand up. My stomach hurt so bad. I had so much stomach pain that day that I had to leave work. And then for the entire week after, I was in like excruciating pain, keeled over once again. And then for the rest of that month, it would randomly hit me, random out of nowhere, just be ordering my Sprite from McDonald's. And then, oh my God, for a month. But it did stay in me for like 2 years, and I think it's normally like 7 years or something like that. And here's my little 2 cents on birth control. Do I think that some people absolutely need it because they have diabolical periods and like their health needs it? For sure. But ladies, if you do not have anything that is wreaking havoc on your body and that you need birth control for, do not get birth control. I'm telling you right now, do not get birth control. If you ever open up that piece of flimsy paper and you see all in the tiny print of all the side effects that can happen to you when you take birth control, you shouldn't do it, girl. Just be raw dog this world. If you're like, oh my God, Caroline, I don't want to get pregnant. I'm not having sex, so I don't really know what that's like unless I'm the second coming of Mary, you know what I mean? Like Mary Magdalene up in this biatch, immaculate conception. I'm not worried about getting pregnant right now. But I understand that some people are, and I really do get it. But I mean, I don't know. Like, we got abortions, babe. Maybe that's an option. Plan B is an option. I don't know. It's just the daily birth control intake, and then also like if you do want kids, it can fuck you up later. So if you have a hard time having children in general, you definitely should have your birth control. Your phallopes need to really shed, okay? Anyway, actually it's the uterine wall that sheds, but I digress. So, going back to periods. So, after I got off my IUD, I was in a hormonal fiasco, okay? My skin was a mess because if you look at my skin, she's pretty flawless. She's porcelain. I do get my little pimpy pampies sometimes throughout the month, but nothing that's like cystic, right? And around my goatee, I used to call it my goatee of pimples. I would have so many pimples, and they were just like continuing to refill. But oh my God, that would just piss me off so much. But anyway, so I was going through all this like hormonal shit. Like I was cuckoo bananas. Like I was losing my shit. I was crying at everything. Which I am kind of crying at everything now, too. But anyway, maybe that's just who I am. So, I got my periods regulated. They said it takes about 2 years to regulate your period, which that's insane. And then, since then, every, 4th month, yeah, something around there, 3 or 4 months, I am in excruciating pain on my first day of my period. Like, so much so that I am barfing, which anybody that knows me knows I'm a puke diva, okay? I am barfing. I am laying on the bathroom floor because it's cold and it's cooling me down. One thing that I love to do when I am sick and I am unfucking well, bitch, is take baths. I don't know why I need to be submerged in water to, it pulls out the despair I feel when I'm in liquid, okay? So I take, probably 3 minimum baths when I'm on my first day of my period, when I'm having this catastrophic episode. But it's not consistent, so it's not every month. But I used to be a very, Puritan, I'm not gonna take any medication, and which because, sometimes some medications have more side effects than they have, treating the actual problem. And I really do believe in, attacking the root problem of it all. But according to my GYN, I don't have endometriosis, I don't have PCOS, so you just gotta deal with it. But back in the day, I would just suffer day and night. Oh, this first day of period, day and a half of period. But now I feel like it's like a placebo effect. That's not the right thing. The Mandela effect, one of those effects. When I'm going about my day and I'm feels like a period's happening, and then I swipe, and then I am immediately cramping. It's like, my brain is like, oh yes, period, let's start wrecking havoc. But once I see that first swipe, I need to take ibuprofen, extra strength, prescription, 800 milligrams. thank you. And then that like really just numbs me out and like it really just helps me get through my day. But if I do not take it, then I am screaming, crying, throwing up. Oh, should I give my period story? I think that's actually cute. So, because, you know, every woman has one. I was in 8th grade. I was in Spanish class. It was 1:10 p.m. And I was sitting there and I was like, why do I feel like I peed my pants? Like, there's, like, definitely some splooge. Okay. I go to the bathroom and I see it. And then I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And, like, every other woman ever who gets their period, what do? You roll up that toilet paper, you stick it on your underwear, hope it doesn't shift around, because then you have, oh my God, it's all up in the lips, it's all crazy. So I like rolled it up, and then I told my mom, and she was like, oh my God, we'll start you off on pads, da da da. Then the next day, I go have my solo rehearsal with Miss Monica, love her, she's still an amazing person, human being, and I tell her that I got my period. She was like, oh my God. She's like, are you wearing tampons? And I was like, no, I'm wearing pads. Like, I just got my period 2 days ago. My mom said that I can, like, wait a couple rounds of having a period before I start to do tampons. She's like, no, to the bathroom. Oh, what? And also, this is, you know, early 2000s. I don't have any problem with it because I love this woman. But, you know, in today's climate, you could never teach a teacher could never teach somebody how to put in a tampon. So she was outside the stall and she was like, to your butthole! To your butthole! And I was like, I don't, you know, like, I don't know what's happening right now. She's like, let me in. And I was like, no, I'm so embarrassed. Let me in. I let her into the little stall. She's like, to your butthole! And I was like, oh, and then slid in. So that's my period story. Still love Miss Monica to this day. She also pulled out a couple of my teeth growing up. She was just like the nurse dance teacher. I digress. So that's my period story. But I swear to God, every month it comes around. And I am surprised every goddamn month. Oh my God, my period again. Oh, leading up to it. Why am I such a bitch? Why am I so hungry? I'm hungry leading up to it the first day. I'm not eating jack shit. My stomach hurts. The kitchen is closed. And I am just, personally, I'm bleeding out, okay? The first 2 days, it is tsunami, literally, okay? And then it starts to teeter off, and then, you know, by the 4th, 5th day, it starts to look like A1 sauce, and you're like, oh, I'm kind of out of the woods yet, and then that's the day that you forget to put a tampon in, and then you're like, Jesus Christ, not me having steak sauce in my underwear now, like, that is just gross. That is so nasty. So anyway, periods. Drop your period story in the comments if you feel comfortable to share, because we're all women here and we all get periods. If you're regular, if you're not, that really sucks. And then it really sucks if you're one of those girls that has periods for days and days on end and maybe even weeks. I feel really sorry for you. And now I'm like, I pity you, but like, I really feel bad. Like, I'm so sorry, girl. This section of the podcast is called Currently, and it's everything that I am currently reading, watching, and listening to. So in last week's episode, I said that I was starting to read Mastery of Self by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. And actually, I said in the podcast that he was the man that wrote the 4 Agreements. I was wrong. It was his dad. So he's like a little like nepotism baby, a little Toltec nepotism baby. Okay, we love literature. All right. I finished the book and it was really good. I don't think he's as good as his father. Oh, did I say that? Maybe a little bit, but it was really good. It was something that like I needed to really just sink my teeth in, really read and flip through and get it out of my system. And so I did that. And Mastery of Self by the junior, not the daddy. Okay. What I'm currently listening to, and I know people have been in my DMs, Caroline, I need you to talk about this album. I need to know what your your opinion is, which that is my favorite thing to hear, okay? So if you ever have things that I want to talk about on the podcast, please message me. I would love to talk about it. I also might take it and might not, you know? That's what recommendations are, you know what I mean? My discretion. So anyway, it took me like a week and a half after it was released to listen to it, and it was Rosalia's album, and oh my God. Wow. It feels like an album that was made in a museum. It is layered. It is deep. It is spoken in 13 different languages. Like she's going above so many people's heads, babe. So many people's heads that they're like, oh, she's not all singing in Spanish. I'm like, well, babe, did you even know the translation in the beginning? Like, because I didn't, and I'm still enjoying the music. Y'all know I love my Spanish music. I love listening to Bad Bunny, baby. I'm going to keep saying it until I manifest doing this goddamn Super Bowl. So anyway, but I listen to his music, and I catch vibes. It doesn't fucking matter to me whether I can understand what the hell's happening or not if I like it. And I feel the same with Rosalia's album. I find it was so good. It was textural. It was layered. It made me cry. It made me shake my ass a little bit. Although there are no bangers from this album. I have to say it. There's no, I'm popping my ass in the club to this shit. Like Motomami, that was like, we are slapping cheeks. But this album is more of like, again, I'm on a lily pad. I'm in fabric. I am at the museum. I'm at the MoMA. And I love that. So I really enjoyed the album. This episode is going to be a little bit longer because I didn't realize I was talking about periods for so long, but I have more to say about what I'm watching. So just enjoy this longer episode today. Oopsie. Last night, I know, again, I was a week late, but I saw Wicked Part 2. And then we rewatched as a house Wicked Part 1 on Wednesday, and then we saw it on Friday. And Wicked Part 1... some people might not agree with this, and that's okay. I still think that the part 1 is underrated. People are like, what do you mean? Like, it was everywhere. Everybody was hyping it. Yeah, and still, I think it should have been hyped more. Like, I'm being absolutely dead ass with you because as a cinephile this year, I've been watching so many things, and you know, I love musicals, and that set, like, the set is mostly real, and I just need that. I need the sensation. I need set design to be working. I don't need the CGI bitches to be working, okay? You could say that for the flying monkeys. Then sure, yes, of course, that is goddamn CGI. That's scary, spooky looking. But anyway, the part 1, wow, bangers, beautiful, gorgeous love. Part 2, I enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna give it a 4 on Letterboxd. Because let's be real, I have seen Wicked the musical on a touring company, but I don't really remember the plot. Like, that was 10 plus years ago, and I've obviously listened to the songs since then. And the meatier songs are definitely in part 1, and part 2, or act 2 rather, is definitely like slower. It's slower in the musical. People have said this all the time. I mean, the banger, the peak of the mountain, for me, in part 2. For good, babe. Oh my God. The minute Cynthia said, I was crying. Tears stream down my face, okay? And I was weeping at that point. But I didn't really cry during the movie, which is crazy because in the first one, I was absolutely like snot rocketing to the stars, okay? I was shaking. I was crying so much. But this one, like, I was definitely, like, there obviously were tears, and I was feeling it. But I wasn't unwell. And goddamn, Jonathan Bailey, man, that man is so sexy. And it's crazy how different that man looks with colored contacts. Because, yes, he's sexy with brown eyes, but those blue eyes, they just make him look like, I don't know, straight. I don't got it, but I'm into it. And then my last thing I will say on the Wicked series, I am so glad it's over, only because I am tired of seeing Ariana Grande's shitty half lash on the big screen. Oh my God. It was distracting in part 1. It was distracting in part 2. It was the ugliest lash I've ever seen, and no blush. It's disheartening, actually. It really is. But anyway, again, I digress. And that was Wicked Part 1 and 2. Thank you so much for listening, watching, wherever you're consuming this content. Thank you for sticking around for 5 extra more minutes because it was a little bit longer. Oops, had a lot to say on some periods today. And if you would like to sponsor this program, I would love it. You know, we love to make money up in here. And then otherwise, so yeah.